Welcome back to another episode of Athlete POV. We're sitting down with our guy Rati from Creighton's men's basketball team. Happy to have him on. Can't wait to hear what he has to say. What's going on, man? How was your day so far?
Thank you. First of all, pretty good. Had a early workout, couple of classes, and then I'm hitting gym with my guys at around like 4 for gonna play a little bit. So good day.
There you go. Multiple workout day. Probably a normal for for any college athlete, really. But a big thing with athletic minds is like really based on like sports motivation, right? For the athlete, high school athletes, college kids. So my first thing we always ask is like, what's your biggest motivating factor that like fuels you?
That's a great question. I think some people have one or two. I have a couple. I would say my little brother would be one, probably the most important one. I have two of them. And, I want to have a good life just so they don't miss out on some things that people miss out, Like I had a family where I had everything I needed, nothing extra, nothing special. But, I had food, I had a roof on my head. So I just want them to have the same life that I had, even better. And my grandpa who passed away, person that raised me, obviously he is my another very big motivation. And it might sound like cliche, but it's my family, that what moves me because that's what it is. Like, I want to make them happy for all the hours that they put in me and
repay
all
them.
That. Yep.
Right, yeah. So now going to like now from an advice standpoint, for someone who's just starting out, maybe they're in high school, they're really trying to stay consistent in the gym or like really try to put in time to figure out their schedule, what would be the best advice you would give someone like that?
So you're saying if they're going to the college, right?
In high school, they're getting ready to like really like start working out really consistent. Like they're getting serious about playing at the next level.
Okay, so first of all, and I did it to myself, and I believe a lot of guys do it. You got to sit down and genuinely ask yourself, like, hey, like, am I ready for this? Because being an athlete and being a Division I athlete, Division II or Division III doesn't really matter. It comes with some good things to it, which is like you go out and people know you. They always invite you to the parties. You are well known,
Right.
Especially if you play. Or even if you don't play, they still know you. And you got to sit down and ask yourself, like, hey, like, am I going to any college or even high school or something just to have fun, or am I really willing to dedicate at least
It's like
2 workouts a day,
a self-evaluation
for like,
sort of.
Yes. You gotta know it, because if you don't know it and you are like, one day you wake up and hey, today I want to work out for 4 hours, and then another day you wake up and it's like, no, man, today I want to party. No, that's not. It's just not gonna work.
It's got to be serious.
I'm saying from my perspective, if you're not serious and fully dedicated to what you are doing, it will just not work. And that would be my best advice. If like, hey, like, sit down and know what you want to do. Because if you know what you want to do, then it's easy. Like you got a list and you just check it all the time. Like, hey, I woke up, breakfast,
right.
Then study whatever you have, and then I went again. Because if you're not partying, if you're not going out a lot and all that, you have a lot of time. Then you cannot blame anything else. You know what I mean?
Right, and that brings me to this follow-up. What's your morning routine like? Do you stay to the same thing every day? Like, what are some of your healthiest habits that you have?
So I try to work out every single morning, depending on when we lift and stuff like that, because we lift like 3 times a week now that we don't have access as many hours, I try to work out. So my Monday looks like this. I have a 9 a.m. class. So I try to go in at 8, have a 45-minute just shooting. Like I have my coach here, our GA, incredible guy. His name is Lucas Vargas. I go with him. We go for 45 minutes. He's shooting that he likes me to do, Then I go to a couple of my classes that I have. I get in another time, depending if we have a lift or no. If we have a lift on Monday, I'm not going to work out 2 times, because then we're going to have another skills workout.
Right.
And then every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I go in there at 9 a.m. once I have breakfast and work out. That's my full workout that I do with him. Same guy, Lucas, which is I start with a little bit of ball handling. Then I start finishing, because I was kind of lacking it this year, which takes me, I don't know, probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then I do the same shooting thing every day. And I think that's the key. If let's say you're not making your shot or something, staying, like doing the same thing
Routine.
every day, and you
Right.
might get bored. Like today, I was shooting and I made like 200 shots, and I was gonna ask Lucas like, "Hey man, can we do a new drill or something?" Because it feels like you are doing the same
Right. Right.
thing, but at the same time, that's what makes you better. Like all the
Right.
reps, the game reps that you take in the practice, and obviously some of them are you just stand in the corner, you might get bored, but that's what it is. You got to just rep them out as they say, and that's how you get better at it.
Right, and you mentioned doing the same thing every day. And when people do, and anything, it doesn't have to be sports. Once you do the same thing over and over again, you realize like what's important to you. Because if it really wasn't,
Yep.
you wouldn't show up. So even though it might not be the greatest like experience in terms of entertainment, you got to do it if it's that important to you. So definitely something.
That's what it is.
Um,
That's the clue.
yeah. Now, on a personal side for you this past season, or actually, it might have been the season beforehand, but you suffered from injury, right? The ACL, correct? What tips
Yep.
would you give anyone going through something like that towards sort of injury?
I was kind of feeling this question would come up. It's so much to talk about, and at the same time, it's not really a lot to talk about because, I mean, we all know tearing your ACL is probably, if not the worst, probably second to third the worst injuries that happens. Obviously there are some disasters that happen when
Absolutely,
you
absolutely.
cannot play, but from the common ones, probably tearing your Achilles would be the worst, and then it's probably the ACL. And it took me 12 months to rehab it. The time frame, we had a lot of time because I tore it right before the season started, with the first game in 14 days, I think, and I tore it November 1st, so I had all the time till next November to rehab it. So me and my coaches, we sat down, we talked about it, we decided that we would go full in. You can probably come back in 9 months, 8 months, but we said, why not just make it sure that it never happens
Right.
again. And that's when it comes in, the thing of doing the same exact thing for probably 8 months, which is you wake up, your knee is hurting because
It
that's
is.
just how it is. There's not an explanation for it. Your knee's swollen and it's just hurting, and especially in Nebraska, it's freezing cold. It's unbelievable. And you wake up on your crutches probably first like a month or something. You go down, it takes you probably 30 minutes when it would take you 5 minutes on a normal walk, and you just sit down in the training room and you just extend it and bend your knee. And that's what you do for a month. Then when you get rid of the crutches, you go in and you do the same thing again for 7 more months. And then that's when it comes in of what I just said before. You sit down to yourself like, hey, am I going to go through this? Because if you're going to go through this, man, it's not going to be easy. Like I will not tell anyone that it's an easy thing. No, for me, it's been the hardest thing in my life, and I'm still, it's been like more than a year, and I'm still fighting it. That's just not how it works. You just don't get rid of it. You always have it here, and that's another part of, especially like guys at young age. Like I was probably 19 when it happened to me, 20.
Right.
I was mature enough to understand what happened. I realized I had this picture in front of me. Hey, this happened, and let's get to work. But if it happens to someone younger or maybe not that understanding of the situation, you got to think a lot. That's a battle. You are waking up every day and you are fighting against yourself, of, hey,
Right.
do I want to do this? Because there will be days, and I had a lot of days when, man, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Man, I'd rather be in my bed and just lay down or play PlayStation or something. And that's my advice. Like, do stay consistent, obviously, because that's what every trainer will tell you. Like, that's not something that you would hear. Me, as a perspective of an athlete, a person who went through this, you really want to do that. If you don't really want to do it, it would just be hard, because it gets hard once you start playing. You don't feel like yourself. The game is not as easy. It's not coming as easy. Like there are some moments that you don't feel like a basketball player. You feel like a robot.
Right.
Because you are thinking, oh my God, I don't want to land bad, or I don't want to make a bad stab because hey, like
Absolutely.
you just missed 12 months. So that's what it is. Talk to your. I would say another good thing is talk to your parents all the time. Not parents, but friends, girlfriend, whatever
People
it is.
people that are around,
People that care, because that helps you out a lot. They give you that confidence that you just lost because you missed a lot of time, and as I said, man, it's really important to stay consistent every day, every day, every day, and that's how you get through it, I guess.
Absolutely. And it just comes down to, like, again, do you really want it? And obviously you going through the process, you can see your vision. So that's definitely, like, you should be proud of yourself for following through, and like you should, reap the benefits to when they come, next season, years to come, stuff like that. But now let's go over to next. Where do you think you see yourself in maybe like 5 years from now?
That's a good question. Yeah, good questions. I think a lot of basketball players, especially at this level, they have this image of, I want to be in the NBA in 5 years. I want to be this, and I want to. No, I always said, since I was a little kid, this is what I had visioned as my life. I want to play the best basketball as possible. That's the clue for me. I want to enjoy every single moment of it.
Mm.
If it is NBA, it's NBA. If it is somewhere in Europe, it's somewhere in Europe. Whatever it is,
right.
that has been my goal for my whole life. Obviously, like, if you have this like set as a goal, it's like, I want to be in the NBA. I understand that too. There's nothing wrong with it.
Of course, it's at the top. Like, you always see it. It's in like the media, stuff like that.
Yes, that's a good thing, and it means that you are fighting for it. But that was my goal. Like, I know that if I work hard enough, and as I said, every day, if I do that, I know that I'm capable of doing something with my life. Like, have a good life with just traveling around the world, play basketball, and that is my goal.
Absolutely, man. Great stuff to hear. Especially when like, the type of, like, when you know what you want to do, sort of, or having at least an idea. I feel like it's so much more enjoyable because, one, you got something to shoot for, and two, when you can accept that it might not go as planned, like you said, NBA, that'd be really nice, but if it doesn't go that way, I still want to do what I want to do, still want to be happy, find, like, whatever makes me happy, So that's definitely really important. All right, let's go on a lighter topic here. If you could go play a different sport, not basketball, on the college level, what would it be?
On the college level? Oh. I would not play football. There's no way I am playing football. No, I've seen that. No, I'm not doing that.
Not receiver?
Oh, hell no. No, I'm not. No, maybe if I was good enough, I'd play quarterback, but I would do everything, and I would slide every single time, and I would make sure that no one touches me.
Fair.
I would probably play soccer. I'd play soccer. I play soccer. My country is, well known for its soccer. And
right. Here, yeah, going about the process of coming, like, playing at Creighton.
Yeah, so how did I get here, you mean?
Yes, sorry, yes.
Okay, yeah, it's good. I was probably like, 15? I was playing, so in Europe it goes like under 16, under 18, under 20. That's the tournaments, European tournaments. And I was probably 15 or 14 playing with the under 16 team. And Coach Huss was recruiting there,
Right.
Coach Huss was recruiting, and, then we just started talking. But I had this clear image that I would never go to the United States. I just had that. Like, I would never want to go to the United States. I wanted to stay in Europe my whole life. And, and at some point, right before Corona started, I'm just sitting in my house, with my family and stuff. And I've been in Europe for a long time already. I played in Spain for 3 years and all that. And I've just seen everything at that point. I'm like, why not to try, Like, what could be a bad thing about trying something?
Right.
Like, obviously, everyone knows that Division I basketball is a good place to be, Like, you want to play here, you want to enjoy this kind of lifestyle. And, yeah, the first person I actually texted to once I decided that I would want to go was Huss, because I had no clue. He was talking to me for like 2 years, and then when he clearly understood that I was not going to the United States, he just stopped. And Yeah, and then I just shoot him a text like, "Hey, coach, I don't know if you're still interested, but I will go to. I'm trying to go to college. You know, this," and he called me right away.
Wow.
Like literally right away.
So you would know what that would mean. You probably was on the list, of people that he was looking from a younger age, because college coaches do that all the time now. Overseas, like AAU tournaments in the States, like younger, really, like not the better, but like it's getting more and more younger as they're trying to look at people based on like potential.
And then that's how it is. And he was always looking at me, I guess, something like that. And he picked up the phone, called me right away. And I was like, yeah, coach, I'm looking forward to it. And let's see what you guys got. And then I got on a call with Coach Mac, and all the coaches. And, it was really good. Everything they said was just perfect. And it worked out for me,
Clearly, yeah. One of the last things we always ask here is, if you have any role models, who would you say are one or two of your biggest role models in your life?
I couldn't tell you. No, I don't. I don't really have one. Not even a basketball player. I'm not gonna lie. I do not watch NBA. Too much show. Too much. Like I like the Heat. That's my team since I was a kid, because my favorite player is Dwayne Wade. But I would lie to you if I told you that he was my role model.
Definitely fair. Yeah.
And yeah. And then at the same time, like I could say my grandfather, for example, but he was not an athlete or something, like he was not in that area. So I think role model is something that I missed it. I just never had it. But
it's been a solo show.
I have people that it's been a solo show. But at the same time, like role model is a different thing. But there are some people that I respect, and when I want to hear of like, hey, like, how you doing and all this stuff, how did you go through this? And there are some people that I call, and for example, like my mom's husband, he was a rugby player, and he went through the same injury. And with me, like I was super close to him my whole life, he came to my family when I was probably 10. He's my best friend, and especially when this ACL thing happened to me, we got extremely close. I was on the phone with him all the time, and just hearing something that, we could really, really relate to. Because I tell this to people all the time, like, once you tear your ACL, which no one wants you to do, you are in a special group, like, that's not a lot of people, but those people who are in your group will really understand you. And they get it.
Like, get like what you're thinking about, like, hey, I can't maybe like run up the stairs to go to bed, or I don't know, something like that. I've never torn my ACL, so I really wouldn't know.
Hopefully you never will do, man. Hopefully you never will do. But even to this day, it was like more than a year. He calls me every day. We talk. He's like, "Hey, is your knee swollen? How is it?" That's how he starts the conversation. Like, it has not been swollen for probably a year. And he just,
hey, that's awesome to have someone like that. Of course. Yep. All right. Last thing, always ask every guest, like, cemented athlete POV question, right? You get two choices. You get to choose two people to go to dinner with. Who do you pick, and where are you going? What are you ordering?
So two people from anywhere, like anything they've done, or athletes?
It could be anywhere. Or anyone. Anyone
everywhere, right? Can I get a minute for it?
Yeah.
I know I'm taking Jim Carrey.
Okay. Solid.
For sure. That's my first person, And then I would probably take Socrates, because I'm into philosophy, and the ideas that he had
still used today.
Kinda, and then every time I read it, it kind of clicks, and I just like how he thinks, And I'm taking Jim Carrey because it was interesting to see his personality from the other side, because we all know it's like, oh my god, funny dude, and all this and that,
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, even I didn't expect, he just comes up talking about the world and its problems and how everything in Hollywood is staged and all the things, and those are some informations that you would never get
Right.
right? Like
And definitely
me or
interesting
you,
to hear about.
we will never know. And if I'm on a dinner with him, and I would probably go to Greece, and any of the islands, I don't really care which one. They're all unbelievable. Going to Greece, I'm not ordering food. And I'm telling them not to order food because I want to talk. You know, I'm getting
Okay.
drinks.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting,
That's the first.
non-alcoholic beverages. That's what I'm
I
getting.
haven't heard that one before. And no food. All
Yeah.
right, I get it. Definitely
No,
straight
we are
to
not eating.
straight to
Yep,
business.
we're getting straight to the point.
That's
I'll
great.
tell you this: I will come with my notebook, just like you are, prepared with questions. I'm gonna just pop them questions, and hey, I want a feedback, and I will just record them. Yep, that's how.
All right, man.
That's how, like a pro.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I've definitely never heard that answer before. Everyone's obsessed with food and like trying to take out people they like to eat. But thank you for coming on. I appreciate your time. It's been great talking to you. I feel like we definitely
Thank you, guys.
dug into your
Yep.
life and like what you're all about and your values and stuff. So we thank you again.
Thank you. It was cool. It was cool.
All right, man. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be in touch.
Yep.
All right.